And welcome back to Spoiler Kings, guys. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Brandman Brandon and Tank Cramer. 2022 was a long year. We had a lot of shows in it, and we're gonna give our top 5 list. This is on Tank Cramer's time, so let's give it to him right away and take it away, man.
All right, cool. So I got a few out there, like Brian said, there's so many shows this year. So I got a few honorable mention. I'm going to sprinkle in between. So I'll start off with the honorable mention that almost made the top 5.
Top 5-ish too. See,
top 5-ish. So I got. So you got to check out Brian's video for the joke about that. But my first honorable mention is the one that almost snuck in. I couldn't figure it out, but Murderville was great on Netflix. It was such a funny show. It was improv with like kind of scripted and stuff like that. Very kind of different and funny. Loved it. Super fun time watching it. Marshawn Lynch just proves why he is just like the best. He was great. So yeah, Murderville was my first honorable mention. But my official list starts with number 5 with the House of Dragon. So for me, I'm putting House of Dragon right in number 5, just because it was great. You know, I feel it looked great. It was fun to watch. There was a lot of issues with it, with the time jumps, like everyone was saying, but also it was a lot of like more political intrigue. So I was like, it kind of like dragged it out a little bit for me. But what it made up for in the acting from all these great, amazing actor and actresses was some of the best stuff I've seen. You know, Matt Smith, the guy who played Viserys, like all of them were great, and that's what made the show. Yeah, Patty. That's what made the show to a top 5 was the acting. You know, because the story we kind of seen it before, more or less, in Game of Thrones, but this one was the acting was on a whole nother level. It was great. So that was my number 5. My number 4, which a lot of people were talking about it. It kind of died down, and we'll see with season 2 and stuff like that. But The Sandman on Netflix,
I love it.
I watched it, and as soon as we started watching it, me and my girlfriend, we binged it because we just could not stop watching it. And we were late to the game, because gave birth to a child, so a little late to the game, and we're stuff like that. So, but literally, like the weekend, the first few days after we brought him home, we were just like, oh, let's see what this is about, and then we stayed up all the time anyway because of newborn. So we just binged The Sandman, and we loved it. We loved The Sandman, and I cannot wait for season 2. And I think Neil Gaiman just was he was smart on holding off to something that made sense. I think he was picky with how it got done and who did it, and he was okay with a lot of the changes they did and stuff like that. So I liked it. So yeah, Sandman, I want to see season 2. I cannot wait for season 2 for it. So that's my number 4. My number 3 is Interview with the Vampire. So we just did a big thing about comparing some of the movie and the TV show and stuff like that. For me, the TV show is so much better than the movie, just because it, like Brandon said, it gives it time to really expand into some of the characters and their relationships with each other. It's really cool. Even itself, like Louis, there's a lot more self-conflict and soul searching just for Louis, so that we didn't see in the movie. And like you got Jacob, Sam Reed, Bailey Bass. Oh man, they've crushed it as those characters. It says seeing Jacob and Sam, how close they are outside of the roles, and then they brought that in, and you could tell like they're friends. So seeing them together was really great. I loved it, and but the story is what made it, because like we know what kind of happened, but it kind of takes the movie and makes you second guess the movie, because it's kind of a loose continuation of the movie, but it's also like it just plays into so much of the other parts where like, can you trust Jake or Louis as the narrator? Then there's the issue of Daniel, and then you have the big spin at the end that was really cool. Yeah. But if you watch Brandon's video, it was on his list as well, and what he said kind of applies for me as well. When they go and they do more, like with Interview with the Vampire. What's the other one? Vampire Queen of the Damned. Like I can't wait for them to do Queen of the Damned. I cannot wait for that one. So
do it correctly.
Yeah, do it correctly. Do it fun. And seeing Sam Reed, knowing how Sam Reed treats his character and seeing what he could do with that story, I'm 100% on board and cannot wait for that one. So more. This I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna sneak in a couple more honorable mentions. So both of these are comic books turned into shows. So I'm gonna go Peacemaker and The Boys. They were on my list and I couldn't figure out where they belong. They're both great shows. Fairly violent. I think Peacemaker dealt with a lot of issues, like generational trauma, dad issues, I guess, daddy problems. And I guess with The Boys too.
I was like,
most of those shows have daddy issues. Yeah, both of them had daddy issues with it. But yeah, those are fun shows, and I couldn't bring them into my top 5. But man, they are right there.
You have 2 left, right?
I have 2 left.
So can I guess your 2?
I think which 2 I am because I think I always talk about them a lot whenever I talk about like how much I love these shows. So I think you would know. I think you would know.
All right. So when you do your second one, I'm gonna hold up my paper, and then you.
Okay with it. All right. So that's my honorable mention. My number 2 show is. All right, you want to do it? Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Our Flag Means Death. Yeah. I love this show. I loved it. It was so good. I did not think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. For all the shit people talk about Taika for Love and Thunder, rightfully so. When he does his own thing with his kind of comedy, it works. And here he took like things that like are not well known. Like Blackbeard, everyone knows Blackbeard. He definitely flips it on his head. And who's the other guy? I'm drawing a blank on the other pirate, the gentleman pirate. And he just kind of makes this story, and it's really good. It goes from like friendship to like love story, and then you're cheering for it, and then you're mad at it, and it's just it's all over the place, but it all makes sense. So it's a very chaotic mess that was just fun to watch. Super, super, super funny, especially when like you think of Taika being the Blackbeard and everything like that. That was great, but definitely. And then also Reese Darby and Taika are like BFFs. They are legit best friends, and then playing like that together, you could tell it because it brings it to another level. Same thing like with Interview with the Vampire, but these guys have been friends for so much more longer. So, that definitely took it to another level. But yeah, it kind of gets into a lot of other stuff, and then it being a very LGBT friendly kind of show, definitely like played effect, for me, how much it meant, because like it was just normal. Everything was normal. Nothing was weird. It was just good, and funny, super funny. So yeah, that was my number 2. So Brian, you got my
one. I'm ready.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So my number 1 for 2022 is going to be Severance. See, as Brian already knew. Brian already knew. So
those were great shows, so I knew that they were going to be on your list.
Yeah. And I think I did solo reviews on both of those shows too. So yeah, those are great. I Severance was super cool. It was the allegory of the cave, very kind of old story that was told, kind of modernized and very sci-fi as well. But the whole concept was great. And what really got me was like great concept, great execution, and then the ending. Sometimes the ending could be really, really bad going into the next season. This one, it was one of the best endings for a season I've ever seen, almost ever. It's like, oh my God, like I want to see more, like immediately. It was so great. But all the acting was great. The concept was great. It was just one of the best shows for me all year. I just one thing I tell everybody, like, you got to watch the show. The bad thing is like, oh yeah, it was on Netflix. Now it's on Apple TV. So it's like, they're like, oh, well, so, but definitely check out Severance. It was really, really good. And then my last honorable mention, I'm gonna throw in Miss Marvel. Love Miss Marvel. For all, if you watch Brandon's, for all the same reasons, they weren't afraid to talk about their religion and their family and how being immigrants and all this like stuff, that a lot of other shows tend to veer away from. They kind of really went with it and because it's part of the character, and I appreciated all of that, so definitely it has some issues, not gonna lie, but for the most part, super fun to watch. That was one of my favorite Marvel things all year, really, was Miss Marvel. So but that is my list of the top shows of 2022. So yeah,
that's awesome, man. That was a great list. I knew I could rank your list.
Knew.
I knew your list already from top to bottom. I'm surprised that none of us put Wednesday on there. As much as I enjoyed it, and as much as all of us enjoyed that, that's the one show that I was surprised none of us three put on there.
Yeah.
So, but this was a great list. You did a great job. I love it, all your variety. I love Brandon's variety. I love that I'm me. And please, if you guys get a chance, like, subscribe, watch all of our reviews. Let us know how much you enjoy it, and comment. I want to hear what you guys think for your list. So put it out there, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.